Shalom, shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone in the well. And salutation to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word, truth, and sincerity. I just wanted to speak a few words on persecution. I know by now everyone's seen the videos that Apostle Gabar, like Apostle Ramlab and Apostle Har have put up on the camp that's in Lamas, Peru, and in all the Northern Kingdom camps, and that are gathering throughout America and South and Central America. And now we're coming to a point where it's absolutely evident that Israel is waking up all over the world. And with that, the scriptures say that this gospel shall be preached throughout the earth, then shall the end come. So we are at the end of this thing, and Esau understands that, and the other nation, they understand that. And what's going to happen is they're going to start bearing down on us, man. The more and more camps pop up, the more and more this word is preached throughout the earth, the more impatient, Esau is getting, the more antsy. So, the more evil and brutish he's going to become. So brothers have to get ready for persecution, man. Because it's right around the corner. We're at the point where the end is almost here. And with that is going to come, agents, government agencies, being locked up, being shot at. Hell, you might even be in a position where you're being drone striked. Anything can happen. So brothers, including myself, we need to prepare our minds for that. This Acts chapter 2, verse 1, it says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." Now, this isn't only talking about demons or the flesh. This is also talking about death, man, because death is a temptation. Because the men of the Lord, chiefly the apostles, man, they got killed for this. They got killed for the Lord. Yahushua, he got killed for the Lord. Hell, the prophets in the book of 2 Kings, man, they got killed for the Lord. Jeremiah, Isaiah, all of the prophets, man, got killed, man. They didn't die of natural causes. They were murdered. And that's the same thing that's going to happen in this time, man. It says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble." Meaning don't panic. Because the Lord always says he has a way for you to escape, man, as he says in 1 Corinthians 10. "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." And the increased is the kingdom of heaven, man. So we have to keep our eyes on the prize, whether we face death, the mark of the beast, or not. "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate." So when random things happen to you in the world, when people are trying to kill you, and you're running for your life, or when you get beat up, you get beaten by a group of people, there are mobs chasing after you. When you think about it, you doing something right, man, because this happened to the prophets, man. This happened to the men of old, and they're and they're going to be in the kingdom with us, man. So that should build up your faith, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate, So don't be surprised you're in a state in your life where you're broke all the time, or when your car breaks down, things like that's supposed to happen. You're supposed to be tried, man. Verse 5, "For the gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." And another word for acceptable is worthy. What can he handle, or can he go through this to obtain his goal, man? We have to go through a lot of hell to get to the kingdom of heaven. It's a dangerous path, as it says in 2 Ezra 7th chapter. It says, "Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him." So you have to believe in the Lord, man, wholeheartedly. And he will help you, man, because the Lord is faithful as well, man. If you're faithful to him, he'll be faithful to you, man. And I've seen it. I've been through it. "Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside." lest ye fall. It says, ye that fear the Lord hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? And the answer is no one. All throughout the scriptures. You look at King David, Paul, Peter, Barnabas, Isaiah, Jeremiah, you know, they all were saved by the Lord, man. When they were in their help, Daniel, the uh, the three children, uh, uh, Meshach, Meshach, and Abednego, you know. I'm sorry, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, Slakin. They were saved by the Lord Himself, you know. So you have to do is believe in the Lord, man. Whether we die or whether we're saved, man, you have to go down believing, you know. Because you forget there is going to be the elect, man, who's going to get beheaded for the Lord, man. And there are going to be some of us that isn't going to taste of death. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. So all you have to do is believe, man. Everything that's about to happen from here on out, as far as prison, death, whippings, beatings, um, you know, starvations, um, chippings, chaos, pestilence, martial law, race riots, everything that's going to happen from here on out that the scriptures speak of, you have to keep your faith, man. You know, because that's what the apostles did, man. The apostles were thrown in jail, one time after the other, man. You know, and one of the first times they were thrown in jail, man, there were 3,000 men that believed just off of the miracles that happened, man. You know, the scriptures say that there are men that are saved out of the world, and converted every day, you know. So just because you go to jail doesn't mean that you're doing anything in vain, man. The ministry that we are called to do, this is not for nothing. This is Acts 4:1. As they spake unto the temple, the priest and the captain of the temple and the Sadducees came unto them, being grieved that they taught the people and preached through Yahushua the resurrection from the dead. And they laid hands on them and put them in hold until the next day, for it was now eventide. So they took them, binded them up, and put them in jail, man. But guess what? Verse 4. Howbeit many of them which heard the word believed, and the number of the men was about 5,000. You know? So when they were out teaching the word and they got thrown in handcuffs and put in jail, guess what? There were 5,000 men that woke up, man. You know? There were 5,000 men that woke up. That's heavy, man. You know? 5,000 men. That's why we're out on the highways and byways, man. You got guys that saying that highways and byways is a requirement, it's not a commandment, and it's something that we don't have to do. Yes, it is. Because if we don't, how are the people going to hear the word, man? Yes, we can do these studio shows and videos and things like that, but the majority of the people is going to be outside. Times have not changed from the ancient world, man. Not at all. The scriptures say there's nothing new under the sun, you know? And you got guys who mock and say, oh, well, we're not going to go onto an actual highway and speak. Of course not. But in the ancient world, the highways and the byways were dirt roads, man. Were trade routes, And how did people travel back then? Either on foot or carriage, Just like now today, you have trade routes. You got dirt roads or city roads, with corners, man. You know, same exact thing. They just changed the name of a road or highway to a street, and put the highway name onto the freeway. That's it, you know. But unnatural men can't receive this. This is Acts 5:14. It says, and the believers. This is the second time they were thrown in prison, man. It says, and believers were the more added to the Lord, multitudes both of men and women. So now, as they keep teaching, man, you got more and more multitudes added to the Lord, man. More and more people are waking up. And so much that they brought forth the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, that at least the shadow of Peter passing by might overshadow some of them. So they believe so much they'd rather put their beds out into the street and wait for Peter to walk by so they can be healed, man. And stuff like this is going to start happening again. You know, this is part of the reason why they'll have to put us to death, man. You know, because after this they conspired to put Peter to death. There came also a multitude out of the cities round about unto Jerusalem, bringing forth folks, bringing sick folks, and them which were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed every one. And this is the power of the Lord, man, which the Sadducees and the Pharisees knew, man, and the elders of Jerusalem. This is what they knew. They knew the power of the Lord. You know, like scriptures say, we can't let this man alone lest people believe on him, man, and be saved. Verse 17, then the high priest rose up, and all that were with him, which is the sect of the Sadducees, were filled with indignation, and laid their hands upon the apostles, and put them in the common prison. Verse 19, but the angel of the Lord by night opened the prison doors, and brought them forth, and said, go stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life. So the angel came in and loosed them out of prison, said, go back to doing what y'all was doing, man. You know? So the angel came and loosed them out of prison, man. You know, things like this is going to happen again. You know, brothers are going to be thrown in concentration camps, and the angels are going to come to let us out, man. Because they can't stand the power of the Lord, and they don't want this word to spread anymore, man. But guess what? The word is already spread throughout the whole earth. You know? And this wasn't even at the point where the word was spread throughout the earth yet. You know? Of course, the word was spreading. You know, the word spread of Yahushua, but it didn't go to the magnitude where Paul took it to yet. You know? This is before all of that. So if this is before that, just imagine what's going to happen when the word gets all over the planet, man, like it's doing now. You know? You're going to start seeing scenes out of movies like Equilibrium. You're going to start seeing scenes out of a movie like, you know, the Book of Eli. You're going to have guys that just want the scriptures, want the breakdowns of the scriptures to control people. You know, you're going to start seeing things out of Demolition Man. You know, you're going to start seeing these different scenes come to life. These different totalitarian worlds, man. You're going to see 1984 everywhere. It says, and when they heard that, they entered into the temple early in the morning and taught. But the high priest came, and they that were with him, and called the council together, all of the senate and the children of Israel, and sent to the prison to have them brought. So this is beginning the middle of the story where they were sent into prison. The angel came, loosed them, and the senate came back to the temple where they were, and they came into the prison where they were, and they were looking like, man, where'd they go? When the officers came and found them not in the prison, they returned and told, saying, the prison truly found we shut with all safety, and the keeper standing without before the doors. But when we had opened, we found no man within. You know? So the angel came and loosed them, man, because they had faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and they were doing what they had to do by him, man. You know? This is the faith that we have to have. Because of this scripture right here, it is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, and will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape. And isn't that what the Lord did in Acts 5? You know, he sent the angel to come and loot and unlock the doors, man, and let them out. But will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. You know, and that comes with fasting and praying, man. Because you're gonna have people just like the Sadducees, the Pharisees, or you know anyone else, you know, are going to think that they're going to be doing the work of the Lord by putting us to death. You know, they're going to call us blasphemers and Satan and things like that if they don't already do. You know, and they're going to move to put us to death because of the simple fact that there are some people that are really going to think that they're doing the Most High service, man. This is John 16:1. These things have I spoken unto you, that ye should not be offended. They shall put you out of the synagogues. Yea, and the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth the Most High service. You know? So there are going to be men that's going to put us to death, man. Or that's going to deliver us up to be put to death. And they actually think that they're doing the Most High service, man. They actually think they're doing the right thing. And these things will they do unto you because they have not known the Father, nor me. So they're only doing it out of ignorance, you know. But these things have I told you, that when the time shall come, ye may remember that I told you of them. And these things I said not unto you at the beginning, because I was with you, you know. And then I have the last scripture here, Revelation 2 and 10. Fear not of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Now that 10 days is a complete amount of time. You know, we don't know how long that is. But it says the devil shall cast some of you into prison, man, which is Satan, you know, which could be the so-called white man and which could be our own people, man, which most likely, hell, it'll probably be our own people, man, because the word devil means deceiver. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that's what this is about, man. Being faithful unto death, so we can have a crown of life, so we can have the kingdom, man. You know? So don't fear death, don't fear prison, don't fear anything but the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Because the time is coming where they are going to bear down on us, you know? So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.